was like, damn it, everything in my Bluetooth again is still on. But I turned it off, so no copyright infringements. None. Welcome to North Sports Dynasty.
It's been a long time since both of us have been on here.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Like, oh my God. It's been yeah.
Like I was worried that you weren't gonna be able to go today. Then that would be a month straight of at least one of us not being here.
Like, what the hell, man? Oh, but yeah, no, at least we're here. We got guests today.
Yes.
I am just waiting to have this pop up for me, please. There we go. Alrighty. So get the shares out. Come say hi. Guys, going to be so much more professional in a couple of weeks. Gonna be so much more professional. I get busy. Oh, can't.
Be careful.
Yeah, because I almost sound like Cyndi Lauper. Like, come on now. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. How the fuck are we all doing? It's North Sports Dynasty when both of us are here. It's right.
First time in forever.
Yeah, first time in forever, as you probably heard from the intro. Me and Alex kicking it with you today with North Sports Dynasty. I'm sorry. I am still a little bit, not saying inebriated, whatever COVID brings. Yes, you cannot catch COVID over the internet, so don't worry. Don't change your dials. Don't jump out of here too quickly. We got a lot of content to get over because me and Alex actually haven't been around each other. So we have a lot to talk about. And we got NSD Analysts. That's right. This motherfucking platform is growing. But before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, remember to like, share, follow North Sports Dynasty, and of course myself, Andrew Faubert on Twitter at Andrew_Faubert, and Loosemore on Twitter at
Loosemore65.
There it is. I was like, I know it. I'm pretty sure
I was like, is he gonna take a stab at it or is he gonna leave?
No. I just like I'm not gonna take a jab at Michigan. You wear that hat proud.
Georgia was just the better team.
Georgia is a better team.
I'm not afraid to say that.
And I would
Michigan was the third best team in college football this year, but it was Alabama and Georgia, and then Michigan. There's a big gap. I'm not afraid to say that.
No, this is fair. I'm going to say thank you to Georgia for allowing Alabama to be the underdogs in this to allow myself to make a little bit of money.
Yeah,
so,
I put money on Bama too.
Yeah. It's just, I'm sorry. It's kind of rigged.
I hope I'm wrong, but I'd like Georgia to win it.
I would really like Georgia to win it too. Georgia, like, we got the dogs, man. So, and one of our analysts today is a dog fan. We'll get to that here first. But first, let's get one of the guys we're accustomed to in here, our very own Denver Broncos fan, and of course, the winner of North Sports Dynasty League 2021. You can thank me, as we will see from pictures here later on. How we doing today, Robert?
I am great. How are you?
We're good. I am feeling better.
Well. There you go.
Alex is feeling good too. What I forget. What you got more mini helmets there, Alex? Or am I just like
no, I'm surprised you didn't see the thing up top.
I was about to say the one in the corner there.
Whoa, what you got there?
That's a Pavel Datsyuk.
Yeah.
And it's got like career stats. It's got like it's freaking awesome. I got that for Christmas this year.
All right, let's go to a man who can appreciate nothing more than the Magic Man, considering his hockey team is a Magic Man, but it has not been able to capitalize on the success that my team did with their Magic Man. No, I'm just kidding. Mr. Chris Woroschuk, our Cardinals specialist and diehard Cardinals fan. How are we doing today, brother?
Good, man. How are you doing?
We are good. And we're going to bring in one more guy to talk about the league this year, and all five of these teams today, our very own Atlanta Falcon and Georgia Bulldogs fan, Mr. Kyle Yacey. How are we doing today, brother?
Oh, I'm good, boys. I'm good. How's it going?
Everybody had to get a little bit of their stuff, eh? Like get some Lions stuff, it's Broncos gear. He's got his Watt hat or Watt jersey. What? in the background. Falcons. What is that? Just
Love
a face
that.
mask? Or is it the scarf? That's just a scarf.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. All right, gentlemen and ladies and everybody else who's been tuning in. This is 5 of the members of the North Sports Dynasty League. These are 5 of the founding members. These are also some of the guys that we have done some pretty crazy trades with this year.
Kyle did one earlier today.
Yeah.
Just kicking this off-season off right, I guess.
Yeah. We want to talk about it? I can give some reasoning behind it.
No, definitely, dude.
I would love to hear your reasoning behind that.
I did not. I wasn't able to get the screenshot of that, like the actual trade, to put it on here yet. But the trade essentially right now.
Here, I'll get it.
You got it? Okay. Right now is our friend Steel Sox, which is Jose. Jose ends up getting Christian McCaffrey, which he now teams up with Dalvin Cook, which is a very interesting 1-2 punch for the running back. And he, in return, gave up the 107 pick. And
he also got a 3rd-round pick in return.
And a 3rd-round pick in return. That is
right. Yeah.
So, Kyle, tell us about this trade, man. You got a lot of picks going into this year now.
Yeah. So basically, what it comes down to is, unfortunately, I haven't had much success with Christian McCaffrey, and that's just the reality of it. Yeah, he's an amazing running back, definitely a top running back in the league when he's healthy. That's the thing. Ultimately, I did use him a little bit in the last season. Not as much, right? Even less in the first season. And, I need to build my team. Again, we're in Dynasty. It's not a redraft league, right? So I got to look out for my future. There's not exactly the best running backs coming out of, the next draft, but there are some top running backs that, could make a 1-2 punch for sure. And like with the dynamic that my team's going with, like I need help in other areas that I want to get in the first round. So yeah, you know what? It's a dicey trade, but at the same time, I'm looking long-term. I'm not looking short-term. And that's the reality of it.
I even said to Jose today, because Jose messaged me and was like, what about it? Like, did I lose this trade? I'm like, no, I think this is a pretty fair, even trade. Unless if McCaffrey starts going off and is completely healthy, then of course, then you get the McCaffrey curse that everybody will inevitably call it.
Yeah, at least I figured out how to get Steel Sox to answer a trade request. You just have to let him fleece you.
Well, and here's the thing that's really going to define this trade is how long is Christian McCaffrey going to play?
That's the question.
That's going to make or break this trade.
Or even does he keep playing for the Panthers? Because that's another.
I think that's a no at this point, personally.
And that's the other side. Like me and Alex are starting to do the offseason stuff, which to anybody who's watching as well today. Give these guys a follow on any of the social media platforms. You're going to see a lot more of these guys on NSD because in the offseason, we talk about the Buccaneers when they do their drafts, and we talk about the Lions and where they're going to draft. And we usually had Kyle come in and talk about the Falcons too. This year, we're going to be talking a lot about the Broncos, and we're going to be talking a lot about the Cardinals. And the Broncos are one of those teams that could actually just take a bunch of picks and trade for one of the best, quarterbacks out there. But this Panthers could too, and they have an interesting person that they could easily trade to, and that's Christian McCaffrey. The problem is he's injured all the time. What do you think about that, Chris?
I don't see it. I don't see anybody trading a top quarterback for Christian McCaffrey with his healthy issues. Like he's a good player, but he'll get picks. You won't get a top quarterback.
Agreed.
No. Do you think if Carolina were to do something, let's just say the hypothetical big one out there, like the Desean Watson situation. If he were to throw Desean Watson there and to kind of adjust some of that cap hit going both ways, because Deshaun's like $46 million or something like that. You throw
now the one
is Desean going to play?
The Texans do eat a lot of that.
He might be in jail this time next year.
Yeah, he could be.
I mean, you're not wrong. He might.
I'm not. I personally, if I have that bargaining chip with Christian McCaffrey, I'm not taking on a quarterback that might go to prison for 20 years.
No, agreed. And that's why
they need to find a quarterback like the situation the Lions were in last year with Matt Stafford, where they just wanted to offload that, and like vice versa with the Rams wanting to get rid of Goff. They need to find that like an ideal situation there where both teams are just like, we have two good players. We need to offload some cap space. We need to restart. Let's do this, right?
But Chris, with that, at the same time, like look what happened with Antonio Brown. at one point we thought Antonio Brown potentially would have been going to jail, right?
He should.
Yeah.
So then
I
what?
think there's a lot more evidence against Deshaun Watson though than there was against Antonio Brown.
Whoa,
There's like
man.
30, what is it, like 30 women?
I think it's like 26. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, I'll just Google it right now.
Man, little rubbing a tug, right? He wants to rub in a tug.
That's why
21 lawsuits of sexual assault and sexual misconduct. It's a lot more than just the one that Antonio Brown had.
Now,
A handful of those are going to stick. Like, I don't think all 21 will stick, but a handful are going to stick.
For sure. Like one or two mishaps, like of a couple girls and stuff. Yeah, I totally.
Yeah, you could buy those guys off, but
yeah,
21, no.
And even still with the buying off thing, it's still like I don't want my quarterback just having to buy a couple of these.
And again, because like Christian McCaffrey, like he's unhealthy, but he's not a criminal. Like,
no.
They're not going to take that gamble. They'd rather play him, and he might get hurt, than have a guy who they just might not have ever.
Yeah. Now, in Dynasty. Though, because we are starting up the new Dynasty League here in the next couple of months. And I know one question that's going to keep getting brought up every single year, because we basically do a whole month where it's a startup type of Dynasty situation for all the viewers. And they ask, well, what about someone like Deshaun Watson? It's like, well, I mean, there might be value to him if you can get him in like the 12th round, if all this eventually does go away and he can play. But the question is in a startup draft, if you're even in a 12 or 14 person league, are you willing to give up that at that point, like a James Conner before we knew he was going to go off to have Deshaun Watson? Are you giving up a chance to have Antonio Brown before all this, started going off? It's one of those questions. And to be completely honest, at this point, I even if someone was like, here, take a 4th round pick or give me a 4th round pick and you can have Deshaun Watson, I'm like, no, I'm okay. That's a bench spot and a roster spot, or just, no, I can't do it.
Yeah.
But Alex, on the other hand, messaged me the other day and says, guess who's in Detroit?
Deshaun Watson has been spotted in Detroit the last couple days.
Wow.
Wow.
Now, it might, and don't take this the wrong way, it might not be football related. He does have large stakes in companies that run out of Detroit, so he could be there for that.
Yeah.
But he has been spotted in Detroit, so there's at least something to look at there. I don't know how I feel about it yet.
I said too, like if they had to trade, not this year's first, like if they had between 1 and 3, or don't
the Rams first.
Yeah, you give the Rams first, and then you give the Lions 2 first.
And this is if
next
he's
year.
Clear, obviously.
Of course. And then what you would have to probably do after that is you'd probably have to throw in like a Jamal Williams. You just like you're throwing in a nice cheap running back that can go in and be with Rex Burkhead and kind of contribute there. And you also, like I said, you would also have to just drop an offensive lineman. It'd be one of those guys that you're like, oh, for me, it'd be like an Alex Kappa. It'd be like, you bastard. But like, I can kind of replace that. You'd have to give one of those
Jonah Jackson on ours.
Yeah. So you'd have to give like Jonah Jackson. Then all of a sudden Houston in one trade and in 2 years is back to being relevant depending on the quarterback that they actually throw in there. So Houston could, Deshaun Watson makes this whole thing. But what about Rodgers, though? Like, what does everybody think on the whole Rodgers thing here in the offseason?
He's going to pity.
Ooh.
I think it's Pittsburgh, or he actually legitimately stays in Green Bay.
I think he stays in Green Bay, and the reason why is they're going to re-sign Adams, and that's how he's going to stay. Adams is the big factor of where he's going to go.
I do kind of agree with that, too. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just going to stay in Green Bay. Like, obviously, he's frustrated. I would not be surprised if he left, but I think he wants to stay there. But I do think that they need to start listening to the MVP.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with the whole MVP take, because and some people have come at me and been like, well, you're a Buccaneers fan. Shouldn't it be that guy? Oh, there we go. That guy right there that you're talking about for MVP. And I'm like, listen, he's in the running. Yeah, but no.
He should be too.
The only thing he's done better than Rodgers is break tablets.
Well, he's got a couple more touchdowns, and he's,
But look at the touchdown to interception ratio Rodgers has. Like, he's,
And that's
Yeah.
and the
Well, look
offensive
at-
line.
And look at Tom Brady with when like you were saying like, oh, we lost this like a couple weeks ago, whatever. Like all the starting receivers basically were down, and Brady fell apart.
Yep.
Rodgers went up against the undefeated Cardinals without any of his starting receivers and beat them.
Yep.
yeah.
Well,
He did.
and
Now, to be fair, if AJ Green turns around,
Yeah, if he doesn't retire in the middle of that route, that's a different game. But we're not talking about that because I was mad about that for about 15 days. I wanted AJ Green gone. I was like, fuck this guy, get him off the team. I'm done.
Okay, no. You want to listen? I'm gonna talk about AJ Green and Dynasty here for a second because if talking to Chris here, I had AJ Green in both our NSD league and in the COVID league that we're in. And the COVID league is a little bit different than our league, but it's just a little bit more money. And I have a absolute shit time with trades in that. I have just gotten absolutely demolished from a couple of bad trades in that league. But I still got Kadarius Toney, so I'm fine. I don't know about well. I'll be fine.
he just needs someone to throw to him now.
yeah.
Well, if Derek Carr is my
Yeah, Derrick
backup
Henry.
quarterback. If I had Derrick Henry, I wouldn't be having this problem in that fucking league. So, let's go to a couple of these trades, though. I want to talk about some of these trades.
Oh,
So-
I just pulled it up. This trade where you got AJ Green is awful.
well,
I just pulled it up because I was like, what's he talking about? Yeah, this trade's awful, man. Let's pull that one up. Let's talk about that.
the AJ Green situation, though, in Dynasty, and me and Alex will talk about this more in the offseason. There is a class of players in the offseason that you're always intrigued to have on your roster, but you're not willing to pay the premium that it may come with. So, for example, the Zach Ertz situation is probably the best one. I literally was like, someone just give me a 4th round fucking pick for Zach Ertz. Please. Like, I just need the roster spot and I don't want to just drop him. And everyone's like,
Yeah.
nah. And the second he gets traded to Arizona, I got like my phone blowing up. No, I got like ding, ding, ding. I had like a 1st round pick offered and then it was retracted right away. I should have just accepted that like the second I saw it. But I ended up getting a 2nd for it. So it becomes one of those things in the offseason like AJ Green, where he's old, no offense. He's going to a Cardinals team that when he got signed there, they're like, okay, maybe a slot or like that 3rd option. But then they got Rondale Moore. And it was just like, okay, well, where does this guy fit in? And he actually became pretty relevant in Dynasty and just in fantasy in general. And I'm pretty sure. What was the trade, Chris?
I was just looking at it. Hang on. I put it away already.
That's okay. I know it was stupid though, because
There was a lot of assets going different directions.
Was that big one?
Yeah, so you got AJ Green, Evan Engram. No, that's not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about in COVID League where you got AJ Green.
Oh yeah.
Chenault from Jacksonville, a 1st round pick, and then you gave up Jacobs and Fant.
Ooh.
interesting.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ugh.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Were you
Okay.
drunk?
I usually
Right, that's what I'm like. That sounds like, what are you doing? There's a lot of age going one way and a lot of age going down the other way.
Oh, yeah. Chris actually has his nickname set to Patrick Mahomes in COVID League to never trade.
Oh,
him
it's
ever.
not available because this guy every week I got a trade for in the offseason for Patrick Mahomes. A different one. I'm like, man, no.
I tried,
no.
and I had
He even
Kyler.
tried putting Kyler Murray, who's like obviously one of my favorite players. I'm like, man, you're not pulling on my heartstrings to get Patrick Mahomes. Fuck off. Like, get out of here, man.
Who's Arizona currently playing right now? Like, as a bracket.
I think the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope. Please destroy the Cowboys, please. Oh,
No,
Yeah.
if we win,
Jeez.
if we beat Seattle and San Francisco beats LA, then we don't play the Cowboys.
No, you would play.
The 49ers, I think.
yeah, and then
the
I would
Niners.
play the No,
Because we would win the
You'd
division.
play the Eagles.
Eagles. I would play the Eagles. That's what.
Yeah,
it would
we
be.
would
You
win
guys
the
are pretty much
division.
set to play the Eagles either way.
Eagles or 49ers from the looks of it. And
You
to
know-
be completely honest, I don't want the Eagles because the Eagles actually can play us pretty well just with
I
the
sure
way
as
that
hell
they're.
wouldn't want the 49ers.
But
though,
that's
either.
the. I don't want no fucking 49ers either.
The
That's
Eagles
for
are
sure.
weird. The Eagles are so weird. Like they surprise teams. Like I don't understand it. It's like nobody thinks the
They
Eagles
wear
are going
you
to do
down.
well, and then it's the playoffs, and then it's like why? Like it's the same thing would happen when they played Atlanta. I think in 2016, I believe.
Yeah.
And like I'm like, oh yeah, Atlanta's for sure going back to the Super Bowl. It's going to happen, and then all of a sudden the Eagles just do something, and then you're
Yeah.
like, wow, damn.
The Eagles this year, they wear you apart. They run the ball, and they don't score hardly anything in the first half, but you're exhausted by the end of the third, start of the fourth, and that's where they take the game over.
Exactly.
So what's your guys' stance on the Cowboys? Do you think they're actually going to do something, or is it because everyone's a Cowboy hater that it's
They're going to flop. They're going to flop.
If it wasn't for the injuries that they're sustaining, just like at key positions like that, like I know I'm on Bucs Report right now, and a lot of people are going to be like, "How dare you?" I do think the Bucs are going to have a very hard time in the playoffs not having Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown. That's just a given. Do we need Antonio Brown to win a championship? No, I do think Tyler Johnson can step
I
in
think you
and fit
need
into
Chris
the role.
Godwin there, though.
But in order to get to what we were in the playoffs last year, I do think that we need Chris Godwin, or we need Lenny to be what Lenny has been this year, because Lenny has been absolutely fantastic. That being said, the Cowboys in the same position. They need to have their top guys in there. Like they need to have Gallup as that third option. They
Gallup,
need
you
to have-
don't believe in Cedric Wilson to
No, it's just like I you would hope as a Cowboys fan, just like I hope
too
Tyler
hit and
Johnson, you know what I mean? But to be honest, there's only two teams that I don't want to play coming out of the NFC, and that's Mr. Chris down there. I don't want the Cardinals to go anywhere near the Bucs. Thank you very much. And I don't want fucking Stafford to have any part of the Buccaneers either. Thank you very much.
not
No,
the
thank
Packers? You don't believe in the Packers?
Packers are winning it all. All of it.
No, the Packers is easy. If Philadelphia gets to the Packers are fucked. Because how you beat the Packers is you run the ball and you keep Rodgers off the field.
Yeah.
It's
And Adam-
simple.
Well, I
Very
mean, the
simple.
Rams could do that though. The Rams could very
Yep.
much, because they got Sony and they got Cam coming back and they got Darrell Henderson just on. Is he IR or is he COVID?
Yeah, IR.
He's
Okay,
IR.
So they got the other guy. I can't remember his name, but they got a couple other guys in there. Like even just having Sony Michel and Cam Akers, it's like the fuck.
Yeah, if you can start working Akers back into this rotation, my God. Like
And that's why I was doing the startup of our rankings, which we're going to be doing it a little bit differently this year, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. You'll have to wait and see what we're doing. So the site is not up, okay? Because I did not do a great job. We did a good job. Alex did a great job with the articles and stuff like that. I just didn't do a great job trying, like, I don't
I've
know
got
how
another one
to
in the
work.
pipeline ready to go too already.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe I got to put the site back up. No, we have other things that are coming down the pipe, so everybody will get to see that in about a month or so. So stay tuned to North Sports Dynasty for that. But in regards to like some of these player rankings, Cam Akers is a hard one to rank right now for just say like a startup dynasty. Same thing with Travis Etienne. Same thing with J.K. Dobbins. Because last year those guys were like, oh yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, give me that. Now what do you do with them? And then on the same side of it, some of these running backs that we've seen this year that have had great success, we don't know what their situation is going to be next year, so we don't know where to put them, a.k.a. Lenny, a.k.a. Cordero Patterson. Like, where the fuck did he come from?
Yeah.
And even the best part is some of these handicaps, right? So even though our friend Jose right now has a very intimidating team with Christian McCaffrey and Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison might see more role in that offense. Chuba Hubbard might start to see more role in that.
And
Carolina.
he gave me Chuba in a trade involving Dalvin Cook. So
Yeah. So I mean, he's lost his own handcuff, and he might start trying to trade for those. But I mean, I don't know. One thing though, in the offseason that I do see happening, and I wanted to bring this up to Chris because I wanted to see what Chris thought about this. As of right now, the one off season, because I know that he's got a couple of these guys under contract, and it'll probably piss Chris off too, just like last year taking Zavon Collins pissed you off. Hey, does it piss you off now though, Chris?
It didn't. No, it didn't. It didn't make sense to me. Like
No.
I like Collins, but it just didn't make sense. As much as I like Rondell Moore pissed me off.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I don't like
yeah.
having a wide receiver that's shorter than our midget quarterback, but
But just like last year, where me and Alex basically we were like, if Najee is available to Pittsburgh, I think it was at 24 or 26. In my opinion, there was absolutely no chance that Najee passes on him. I think this year that if for some odd reason the Arizona Cardinals even have a sniffing chance at Isaiah Spiller falling down to them, they are not going to let that go. Because you all of a sudden would have a wide receiver flock that can just, in that Cliff Kingsbury offense, that could just go. And then the one thing that Kyler say is missing that he actually has respectably good on, but they're getting older. They are a little bit banged up, and their the third stringer, which is Eno Benjamin, there is okay. Is the running back depth? All of a sudden, if you have a safety blanket like Isaiah Spiller, who can also run. If you watch some of his tape, he's got this like elusiveness, kind of like Kyler, and it's just like allow those guys to sit in the backfield, and then Cliff Kingsbury's contract is going to pay for itself. Isaiah Spiller, I don't think if the Cardinals are sitting there even at 27, 28, the Cardinals can win it all this year too. Let's be completely honest with that. I think we all can agree with that.
Yep, I agree. I agree.
Cardinals can win it all. They're out of the 5 teams that are going into the playoffs right now that can win it all. The Buccaneers can win it all. The Packers can win it all. The Rams can win it all. The Cardinals can win it all, and the Titans can win it all. That's my opinion.
The 3 teams that I expect to see in the NFC are the Cardinals, the Packers, and the Bucs. Out of those 3 teams, that's who I expect to see in the NFC Championship. I don't know what the matchup's going to look like, but
it's got to be. I can't see. If Cardinals face Dallas, Cardinals' defense is just got more significant players on it.
With JJ coming back.
And that smile is just like,
yeah, it should be illegal to have JJ Watt and Chandler Jones, but it's not. So.
Right.
But it's not.
Remember in the offseason when that trade happened, Chris, like even in a couple of group chats, we won't shout the one person out. Don't you do it, Chris, as much as I know you want to. We already know how good that their team is doing. We don't need to throw more shade at them. But they were like, that is the worst trade or signing I have seen your Cardinals do. That's $33 million gone and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like sitting there like, I don't know, because that could be the, that could
his team's won 3 games this year?
Well, like I said,
I didn't point out teams. I think they won 3 games.
No, I know. But yeah, it's one of those situations now where it's like, wow, like JJ really, like him and Chandler Jones, and just having, oh my God, why can't I think of him? Alex knows who I'm talking. It's the player with no position on the Cardinals.
Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah.
Yeah, Isaiah Simmons.
I figured that's who you were talking about, but
yeah. Buda
Isaiah
Baker.
Simmons has been a tank this year, man. Flying around.
He's been awesome.
Oh.
And I told everyone that's the one.
Yeah, people were starting to say bust after year 1, and I was like, nope.
No.
What's
I
that?
didn't think so either. I didn't think
he didn't
bust either.
He couldn't.
No.
He just he couldn't find a spot in the defense. It wasn't that he wasn't good. It was that it was just got to find the right role for him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he needed that experience. He was young. He was making he made a lot of bad errors in his rookie year. A lot of just bad hits, like bad headshots, late hits. This is like, man, this isn't college. You can't do that anymore. You gotta you gotta have a little restraint. And he's really dialed it back this year and been doing well.
He's the one player that in that draft that I said too, like if he goes into certain teams, like if he went to the Bucs and he was literally just allowed to just play on that defense, like, oh my goodness gracious, that would have been awesome. And I was hoping for it too. I'm like, please, for the love of God. But then of course, when his Cardinals call his name at 8 there, I think it was.
8 or 9, yeah.
Yeah, 8 or 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to be there either.
No,
No.
he was not.
He wasn't supposed to be there.
Nope.
And it was just one of
No.
those things where the Cardinals like, thank you. We're just gonna.
Yeah, well, I remember I wasn't even. I think I had to work or something. I didn't even watch that draft. And Andrew, you texted me and you were like, "You're gonna get Simmons." I'm like, "What?" I was looking at my phone. What's going on? What's happening? How did this happen? How did this happen? It's like
from now on, like I've even told Alex this because if you look at the draft, having the number 8 overall draft pick is almost as good as having the number 5. Because usually at the number 5, if one of the top
someone makes a mistake.
Someone makes a mistake.
Always.
Someone takes a quarterback too high. So there's usually talent that drops to number 5. Then after that, it's usually a quarterback. And then someone gets desperate at 6. And then, just the best talent available at 7. But it's usually that weird player that everyone has their own opinion on. The Christian McCaffrey at 8. The Isaiah Simmons at 8. There's a couple other people that you could, TJ Hawkinson at number 8 there as well. There's a few of those players that everyone's like, yeah, but do I need Chuba at 8 there too? Or not Chuba, sorry, Christian, sorry. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't need a tight end, but now all of a sudden I can get the best tight end. It's like, I don't need a white running back. But it'd be kind of nice to have this really nice utility play. And then with Isaiah Simmons, it's like, I don't need a positionless player, but holy shit, wouldn't it be nice to put him on this team? Like, damn.
So with that, though, I guess going into that, who do you think made the biggest mistake now at like being close to the end of the season in the draft, first round?
Oh. I'm going to go take a look again.
Yep.
I'm doing too. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, let me see here.
Don't want to put anybody on the spot. I'm just curious.
I mean,
I'll make a hot take.
all right.
I think Jacksonville.
Number 1?
I do. Honestly, I do.
How dare you?
I know. Isn't that crazy? No, and I'll explain my reasoning too, though. Like, I think like Jacksonville is like drafting Etienne, right? It was Etienne as a running back, and then as well as Trevor Lawrence. I don't think was necessarily a bad thing, but I think potentially looking at Jacksonville, like they still are a few years to being even close to a contender. Whatever, that's fine. But they probably could have traded a lot for that number 1 pick and maybe put together more of their team. I think so. And even with the backup quarterbacks that are on, like look at Mariota, look at Trubisky, like look at other quarterbacks that could have potentially filled that role again. I really don't think that they could have done worse than what they did this year. And that's the honest truth.
That's fair. No, that's a fair take.
I think we need to see Lawrence behind a half-decent offensive line.
Oh, yeah.
That offensive line doesn't do shit for him. He can't hold on to the ball for 3 seconds for those routes to develop.
That's true, but at the same time, you can say that about a lot of quarterbacks, to be quite honest with you. We can say that about Matt Stafford. We can say that about Matt Ryan. We can say that about a lot of quarterbacks that don't have a solid offensive line right now, right?
Well, Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan had, what's his name? Eric Fisher?
No, Matt Ryan has Jake Matthews.
Yeah, Jake Matthews is one of the better ones.
Yeah.
The difference between Matt Stafford, Matt Ryan, and Trevor Lawrence is Stafford and Ryan have been in the league 10 plus years.
Okay, fair.
Lawrence has played 10 plus games. Yeah. So I think give him a couple of years. Let them build this offensive line. If they're smart, they go Evan Neal first overall, the tackle from Bama. And just load up on offensive line.
Yeah.
Do the Jets look dumb with Wilson at 2, though?
So that's the one that I was kind of looking at.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. I don't know.
He's shown flashes, though. That's the thing.
I think he's going to be really good. I really do.
I would still take probably any quarterback that was taken before him. I'd take Mac Jones before him.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Who was taken at 15.
I'd take Fields over Wilson.
I'd take Fields over Wilson. I'd take Trey Lance over Wilson. Like that's where that's a mistake. I don't like Jones, though. Not that he's bad. I'm not saying he's terrible. No, but I'm just like in that draft, in that QB class, like he was probably the lower end of that QB class.
Mm-hmm.
You guys might not like this, but you want to know another young quarterback that showed flashes? Johnny Manziel.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
What, in the CFL?
No, that first year with the Browns, there was a couple games. Where
No,
there
was.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, there was the one. I'm trying to remember. I watched that game actually too, and he did he scrambled a few times like he did back at Texas A&M, and he did throw a couple balls where I'm like, well, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
But like
I also refuse to believe the Jets can do anything right. So,
I mean, listen, the Lions.
Mekhi Becton was the right pick last year.
The Lions picked some freaking offensive tackle at 7. So like,
Andrew, you're trying to get under my skin. I know it.
Like, shut your fucking mouth.
You guys have to let me explain myself here, but Justin Fields at pick number 11 was the biggest mistake of this draft.
Wow.
Because of the team that picked him. The New York Giants should have stayed at 11 and picked Justin Fields.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. With that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny that you said that because I'm working on a segment for the offseason called like 1 year too late, where teams, like, we've seen this in like the last 5 or 6 years now, where teams are like, you know what, I think I'm okay with this quarterback for at least one more season. Let's see what I got, right? And they'll make a trade in the draft, or they just pass on, say, a quarterback that's still there. And then when you see where that quarterback has been good now, you're like, oh, that would have been really nice. Like, for example, let me start it off with the Buccaneers could have had Bruce Arians and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin with Josh Allen under center.
Oof, that'd be scary.
Just saying, like, I love Josh Allen. Like, I really like what the Bills have done. I think he's probably my favorite quarterback in the league, obviously, besides like Brady on the Bucs right now. But to be like, if the Bucs didn't make that trade to allow Buffalo to get ahead of, if I do recall, I want to say it was Carolina and Pittsburgh. There was someone like that, but so they were getting ahead of those teams. So they made
Denver.
Oh, that's what it was then. Yeah. They made that trade to get ahead of those teams and ended up getting, Josh Allen. But it's one of those, what if they just went with Josh Allen and said, screw Jameis Winston's 5th year? You know what I mean?
Oh, you want to know who? Actually, it wasn't Denver. The main quarterback team there that they were getting ahead of.
Mm-hmm.
We could have seen Josh Allen in Arizona.
Oh,
that was the beloved Josh Rosen draft.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. Chris, how would you I know you love Kyler, and we're not going to disrespect your quarterback, of course. Yeah. But at the same time, too, would you have been okay with Josh Allen under center with Cliff Kingsbury?
Yeah, I mean, in that draft, yeah. But I'm glad we didn't like take a flyer and go with Rosen for another year and like not draft Murray.
But
yeah,
I'm glad, because I would have been really upset if we didn't draft Murray and stuck with Rosen for another, and just, oh man.
Yeah, you're welcome. We got Rosen now. Thank you.
To be honest, that was the one of the first times when me and Alex were working together there that we actually sat there and agreed that, like, for the first time, like, we're not taking a random shot at this. Like, I do think the Cardinals will just say fuck Rosen and take Kyler. Yeah. Like, it makes sense.
You had to. Yeah.
But
they kept saying they weren't, but you had to. Like, what?
We got pushback. Like, I got pushback on Bucks Report, like, just from some of the older guys and stuff, and respectively so. Like, they were like, nobody's ever done that. And I'm like, I mean, yes and no. They're like, no one's ever done that with a prospect like this. I'm like, okay, yeah, but like, that's the reason why you would do it then, is because of a prospect like Kyler. And they're like, yeah, okay, but I'm like, if
Josh Rosen came out and had even if our record was still the same, but he looked good, like, all year, he didn't have more touchdowns, didn't have more interceptions than touchdowns, and he actually like moved the ball well, managed the game well. We still lost the games, but he actually looked okay. Yep. It's a bit of a different story. He probably got screwed over a little bit by coaching. We had a very incompetent coaching staff that season.
Yeah.
But even still, like, I don't know, if he came out and even looked, 20% better than he did, they might have just stuck with him. But he just he never looked good. Like, he had a couple flashes where he like threw a really nice deep ball to Kirk, or he would, get a really nice first down, or it was just like he had to kind of thread the needle a bit. But other than that, it was just like inaccurate, bad decisions, under pressure, couldn't make the throw. Like you can't. You had to.
The other side of it too is like a lot of people were saying, well, he's going to be like Alex Smith. You just got to give him time. I'm like, Alex Smith didn't come from money. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Alex
Smith had to earn everything he got.
Yeah. I was like,
he's,
Josh Rosen was literally handed his dorm with a hot tub. Like, I don't want to fucking hear none of that. And like, that's why now at first I was high on Spencer Rattler. Like even when he comes out, now I'm just like, he's an entitled little prick. I don't care what he does from now on. There's just certain people with certain mentalities that I can't draft, and that's one of them. And even out of the quarterbacks this year, Matt Corral has a little bit of not cockiness and not arrogance either. He's very like I want to. Yeah, he's confident, but some people see it a different way.
So did Mac Jones.
Exactly. Sam Howell has got more of the personality that people like. Kenny Pickett is kind of the same way from what I understand.
Sam Howell's not going to work in the NFL. I don't
think so either. I mean, you got to give him a couple years.
Well, he's got to learn a new way to play the game because he's been full RPO the entire time.
He's got to be
all they did at North Carolina.
He's got to be put in a situation like Kirk Cousins. He's got to go be the backup somewhere where you can just be 2 or 3 years and then eventually get a chance to take the reign.
Absolutely rob another team. Yeah, sure.
Yep. There you go.
If
back
you're
up with a Brinks
quarterback
truck and pretend like you're a starting quarterback.
Why not? We did it with Mike Glennon.
If you pick a first round quarterback this year, unless you're a team that doesn't really need anything and you're one of those older quarterbacks, you're making a mistake. If you're expecting any of these guys to play before year 3, you're making an absolute mistake.
I think the next year is going to be a good quarterback year.
Yeah,
next year is going to be a great quarterback year. And that it's funny because I talked to you guys about this because I was pretty dead set that they were going to pick Matt Ryan's successor like in the draft, right? And I'm like, oh, if they're not doing it last year, they're going to do it this year, right? And now I'm like, if they pick a quarterback, they're stupid. They're so stupid.
So my early take on that is only this: like, out of all the quarterbacks that are coming out, like Malik Willis's personality with. That's all we're gonna say. That's all we're gonna say. He's allowed to have everything, but okay, but because he went to the school that he went to and because of his personality of what he wants to have, like his faith and all that kind of stuff, it is going to be hard for a few teams to actually draft him unless they have that already invested into their team. And all teams do. I'm not saying that they don't, but more teams a little bit more so than others. Right now, the biggest team out there that does it, from what I understand, is the Houston Texans. And the Houston Texans, I don't think at pick number 4 are going to go and pick Malik Willis.
No.
Now, with regards to the Falcons, there's a couple of teams out there that are in the same situation as, say, the Falcons, like the Raiders. Let me look at the Colts, even though the Colts are going to make the playoffs and it wouldn't work for them. But the Raiders, your Falcons, the Broncos,
the
Vikings, maybe the Vikings too. They're in a position where like they can win. They can win games. They have bodies around. They can win games. A good quarterback, like a solid young quarterback to develop in that system would be the best way to go about it. That is why I think that Kenny Pickett would be one of the best situations in Atlanta because he's not going to start. I don't think he would start next year. I think what would happen is they would keep Matt Ryan for one more year. They can actually allow this guy. They're not going to do what other franchises have done where they're going to trade him for, pennies on the dollar or anything like that. No, they'll be like, let's actually see what Matt Ryan could actually do with this team next year. We're going to build around him for at least the 2 years. We have Kenny Pickett now in the back so that he can learn Arthur Smith's system. And that's why I do think that Matt Ryan, after that, say they go 9-8, at least if he goes 9-8, throws for 4,500 yards, looks even close to the Matty Ice MVP season, he goes and gets his contract somewhere else. And then it's just different than what other franchises have done. We don't necessarily need to get anything out of him. We just want to see him have another opportunity somewhere else, not in our division. We help him here. He doesn't play in the NFC. He looks for his jobs the AFC?
Well, the only thing is I understand your take on it, but here's what I'm going to use a hockey analogy actually with this. So it's kind of like the situation with the Oilers though right now, right?
Oh, here we go.
You can go and get all the star players all you want, but if you don't have a goalie, you're not going to win games. And that's the thing that's kind of with the Atlanta Falcons is sure, you can go and draft a quarterback, like to develop first early on, fine. But when you have such a garbage offensive lineman, especially with Caleb McGarry, who's been a flop ever since he was drafted first overall, like you're just going to keep getting sacked. It doesn't matter if it's Matt Ryan behind there. It doesn't matter if it's Tom Brady behind there. It does not matter because you're going to get sacked because you have nobody protecting your quarterback. And, as much as I think that maybe Atlanta should go defense, they kind of saw like a shining star this year with Boye Aluakon. Like that guy's been a star. And you know what? I actually think, and, mark my words, like I've always kind of trashed the Atlanta defense. The Atlanta defense actually isn't bad.
No,
honestly, all things considered, I think they just maybe needed like a year or two. And like, yeah, sure, I'll give my first pick away. That's fine. I think they're going for an offensive lineman to replace Caleb McGarry. I think that's exactly where they're going to go first overall.
Well, there is a few offensive line, and Alex will have his big offensive line takes coming out in probably about a month and a little bit.
Yeah.
But he does have, like, he will be going through most of them. There is 3 to 4. Welcome back, Robert. We got about 3 or 4 offensive linemen that could go in the top 12 just by like current draft, positions, like who's got what pick and this, that, and everything else. But there could also be another, say, 3 that go
I was
between
gonna say 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 that can go between pick like 13 and 26. Like what I thought the offensive lineman class was going to be last year is starting to slowly look like this year. Because Evan Neal is Evan Neal has basically is given, do you want to have Trent Williams, but younger? Is that what you want? Do you want to protect?
I like that comparison a lot. To me, I thought Mekhi Becton, but way more athletic.
No. Trent Williams it's just the way he plays. It's like, do you want your left tackle protected during the game and after the game? Do you want your 21-year-old kid to feel like he is actually being protected for the rest of his life, aka Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah.
The Jags
the
only
Jacksonville
have
are. Yeah, they're so stupid if they don't pick Evan Neal.
And a lot of people are saying, "Whoa, what Kayvon Thibodeau or Adrian Hutchins? What's his name?
Aiden Hutchinson.
Hutchinson there, yeah. Like, if he's there, that's the number 1 pick. Okay, so you're just going to overload the defense.
I get that pairing one of those 2 with Josh Allen is the sexy pick,
but
you got to protect Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. Like the Broncos have a good offensive line. That's why they can put in a Teddy Bridgewater and they can put in a Drew Lock and they can still get wins. This is the reason why, even though the record doesn't necessarily state, but the Lions have a good offensive line and can actually stay within games. The Arizona Cardinals have addressed their situation. Their offensive line could be a little bit better. Don't get me wrong.
It could be a lot better.
And that's the thing is, so now all of a sudden, and same with Kyle's, bring his into this as well. Kyle's, he definitely needs help as well. And that's where, if you look at some of the guys that are going to be available, like Charles Cross, if Evan Neal and Tyler Linderbaum are gone, Charles Cross is still available at Atlanta at, say, 9 or 10. That's a good pick. If all of a sudden
Ike
Ekwonu, or all of a sudden if Kenyon Green is available at Arizona for some reason at anywhere between 24 and 32,
I think he's going to be a top 10 guy come the end of April.
I do too, but
I think
Slater,
the New York Giants.
Look at Slater. Slater fell to 13, and me and you in all of our mock drafts were like, there is no fucking way Slater falls past 10.
Well, it's because the Bengals made what is now looking like a very smart decision and didn't draft the offensive line.
No, because
there was only like 3 or 4 teams in the top 15 that needed offensive line.
It's because they can literally go and do it this year. They're like, we can go. Trevor Penning will be available at 24. Like,
he's going to be. He's one of those guys to look out for. He's going to be a stud.
He's the one that I've actually been like low key watching
the
a couple of
Iowa kid.
Yeah, and I'm like, how is no one talking about it? Like, he's in there, and I get it, but it's never, But so let's go through a couple of these dynasty trades. I want to talk about some of these trades that have happened. So let's go to Kyle's first here. So Kyle brought up his to me. Is this all yours that you just put in there, Alex, afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So Kyle's, this is right here your favorite?
Yeah, so I'm thinking like it only specifically for the 3rd round pick, to be quite honest with you, is just kind of seeing how my team was going. I think picks are definitely going to help me in the next year or two to kind of get the team that where I want them to be.
Okay.
Again, like, I touched on it as well. Like, sure, you have that veteran, presence and that veteran, I guess, just proving, right? But at the same time, like, Trotman more or less was just going to sit on my bench. Gainwell was just going to sit on my bench.
Gainwell's still my
you know what?
favorite.
Picks matter, I think. So I think that could be my favorite personally, which is a weird take, but
despite what Johnny Dean says, I still love Kenny Gainwell going into that season. Despite what Kenny Gainwell has done, which is nothing, I'm aware. I still love him going into next year. So this is your favorite, the one that you don't like, right? This is the one you hit.
Yeah,
I can see why. Yeah.
Like, it's tough because there's two different takes on this one. Like, I'm happy I rejected it, but at the same time, Leonard Fournette would have been beautiful, and like Thielen had a great, for the most part, like season, 2 seasons, right? So like, ugh.
And you know what? I almost had Thielen and Fournette at some point this season too. So it was a piss
But Jefferson, like, I'm happy I still have him because especially what's kind of happened with me and Calvin Ridley, like, I had a terrible year with injuries or people going on COVID and stuff, and like, honestly, with in the grand scheme of things, like, even playing somebody like Rob, right? Like, I went into that game being like, fuck, I might have a chance. Like, I might actually get through it. And it's like, boom, injury, boom, Patterson on COVID protocol. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. There's no way I'm making it through this.
Like I was saying before the show started too, the one person I did not want to play like all the time, besides Robert too, because he ended up being the champion, was Chris. Because his team, he'd be like, oh, this person's on a bye or this person's injured too. But then like his other players would get like 33 points each. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So speaking of Chris, he's got this is his favorite. This is the one trade we did.
That's the only trade. I didn't make many trades this year, but I still don't mind this trade. Obviously I like this. I like this trade a lot more if Ruggs isn't, arrested.
Obviously, yeah.
But that first from last year ended up being, I'm pretty sure it was ATN.
It was ATN. I did double check.
Oh, you did look at the chaos. Either way, obviously he's hurt, but I still have him.
Yep.
And then the other first was when we were talking about it yesterday, the first overall pick. Now it's the 4th overall pick.
Yep.
Pretty mad about that, but it's all right. Yeah, it's all right though.
I'm fine.
But yeah, giving up Diggs was hard.
I'm so happy.
But Pittman, Ayuk, it's a good haul for
Pittman
what
and Ayuk is so good, and Gesicki. I'm just like, I look at this and I'm just like, fuck. I love you, Diggs.
Gesicki's the huge part to look at because it sounds like Miami's not going to pay him. Sounds like he's going somewhere else this year.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What?
It's Jimmy Graham all over again. They use a wide receiver, so he wants receiver money. They're not going to pay him that kind of money.
Oh my God! Why?
That's an interesting one too, because Miami has enough picks this year too that they could actually go grab the first best tight end too.
Who is that even?
I think it's Whittemire.
I would say.
Yeah, I think it's Whittemire.
McBride is making a case, and same with that. Billingsley is ranked 3rd or whatever, but that Ruckert dude is starting to come up some people's boards pretty quick too. So
yeah, he's catching a lot of heat right now, flying up boards.
And everybody knows that all these names and stuff like that, you're going to start hearing in the offseason from all the big heads and stuff like that. But you're also going to hear it from a lot of us, because the reason why we're starting to get more people, say, involved in NSD is because, one of these weeks you're going to hear us talk about Tampa Bay and the Lions all the time. But we're going to bring in, say, Chris, and we're going to be like, who are your Cardinals looking at with pick number 32? Or Kyle, who are you looking at with pick number 10? Or Rob, who are you looking with pick number 3? I'm sorry. I know it was a shot. I'm sorry. But, we're gonna.
I like how you're already planning on me having pick 32.
I like
the mentality.
It's not even like being like you're a guest. It's if we had a Rams fan on here right now, it'd be like pick 31 or 32 for you as well. Because I have faith in my Buccaneers, but Alex knows exactly what I'm about to do. After this game tomorrow, I'm going quiet.
Yep.
It worked for me last year. I'm going quiet again.
I'm still
Yeah,
hoping,
the last time
I'm
you
still,
talked
I'm
shit,
still
what
hoping Matty
happened?
Ice comes to Denver. That's my
Well, I was
honestly,
going to
it
bring
could.
that up. Sounds like June 1st, Denver's pushing hard for, and you're not going to like the second name. It's either Matt Ryan or Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, I saw.
I'm not gonna lie, Kirk Cousins wouldn't be too bad, but he can't not for that much money though.
See, I think
much.
Atlanta
Kirk
would be nice
Cousins
to
is
get
terrible,
Judy
man.
I
and
agree.
Drew Lock. I think Judy and Drew Lock in the combo to Atlanta might be a.
It
Honestly,
sounds like
that would
it's
be
just gonna
great.
Be 2023 first. Sounds like
You
they
get
might just
Matty
do
Ice
a one
over? I
for
think
Matty
that's-
Ice, yeah.
Well, what I could see too, honestly, on that, and I know you guys were you were trashing him earlier. I'm not saying I have any faith in the QB that's on my bench right now because I don't think he'll ever remain a starter. But technically speaking, if you go draft an offensive lineman and you're smart about it, you put Josh Rosen in, sent Matty Ice over to Rob to the Denver, right?
I
Take Judy.
Kyle wants the first overall pick in 2023.
Well, I'm just saying, you never know, man. Like, and then
Not
you know
if you
what?
want to win football games.
Well, it's about the long haul too. And you think about it, like, yeah, next year's draft is going to be quarterback heavy. If Denver throws in a first round pick, I'm just saying, like, yeah, next year's going to suck, but it's about the long game. It's not necessarily about the short game. And
Falcons
Andrew
lead the
knows
league
that.
in interceptions.
Well, no,
Andrew
not
knows
even that.
And
There
that's
is a
what I'm saying.
couple-
Even add in a Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
There is a couple other quarterbacks that would even hit free agency that I could see fitting in to Atlanta as well. Like you could put a Case Keenum in that system for a year. You could put Jameis Winston in that system for a year. Like,
Apparently Atlanta really likes the idea of Mitch Trubisky.
and that's the one I was getting to there. I
Sweet.
was like, Mitch Trubisky has apparently done a good job sitting in the back there in Buffalo, learning. And it's a good system for him, but that's the thing is some of these quarterbacks just can't lead. They can't go out and take.
There's a duo I want to see: Josh Rosen and Mitch Trubisky.
Oh God,
That's gonna sell tickets. That's gonna
Now-
sell tickets, man.
do you put both quarterbacks on your billboard? Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
not
Oh,
even-
God.
Let the fans vote who gets to start each week because it won't
Oh,
make much of a
no.
difference either
Oh
way.
my God.
But that's not an Atlanta thing. That would just seem like a very Chicago thing. It'd be like, we're bringing them back. Trubisky.
Well, I mean, it seems like freaking as soon as Justin Fields go out, they flip a coin whether it's going to be Dalton or Foles. So
God, the Bears are
one
just.
week it's Dalton, the next it's Foles, and then Dalton
Yeah.
again, and then Foles, and then like.
I just, it's so funny this quarterback carousel because, you know, only like say 6 or 7 years ago, these quarterbacks that got onto free agency there, like Jameis Winston would not have signed the contract that he did with the Saints if this was 5 or 6 years ago because he'd actually get money. Listen, the one thing I didn't like about the Mike Zimmer press conference about the whole Kirk Cousins and the other quarterback there that apparently he doesn't like to talk about, Kellen Mond.
Well,
Like they drafted Kellen Mond in like the early third round. Like, why the hell aren't you using him, dude? The guy's got a fucking cannon of an arm.
Yeah.
he must. There's got to be a reason.
Like, to be honest though, Kellen Mond just has the personality where I think he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna play.
Does he
where I
have the
fucking
smarts
want.
though?
Well, and here's the thing.
That's
I
where
know it
Drew
was
Lock
against-
is the issue, right? Drew
This
Lock's
is
got the talent, he's got the arm, but he doesn't have the smarts to run a team.
But
Well, I know it was against the Packers, but when Kellen Mond got in there the other night, he did not look good.
Well,
I didn't like
though,
anything I saw out of him.
That's fair.
these quarterbacks aren't given chances though at the same time. Like Drew Lock, like sure, like he might not have the smarts, but I still think at the same time, you know, you give him a little bit more time. You throw him in for a season, see if he actually, and not like go back on him and have the same kind of thing as like Tua, right?
Uh-huh.
Then, you know, maybe he does pull it off. Maybe he figures it out.
Wait. So you're saying that we need to have more quarterbacks have an opportunity to start somewhere.
Oh, here we go.
Which means
Which
means it's almost as if we should allow this merger between the CFL and the XFL to give everybody more of an opportunity.
I agree.
Oh my God.
Well,
Ladies
look
and
at the
gentlemen.
USFL coming in. Look how
Well,
many
the
quarterbacks
CFL
there is.
fans won't have it. That's the problem.
That's stupid. I think it'd be awesome.
Listen, you change my logo to some deer. You bring back Chris Jones
Just some
and
deer.
you insult my fan base. Yeah, I'll pay $25 to come see you every day. Thank you very much. Whatever.
But just think, you got the USFL coming back. How many quarterbacks are going to be coming out of there?
That's what I'm saying too. Like but the problem is, and I've even stated this before too. So actually, I should have posted this picture too. NFL like owns the TV like in the States. I didn't realize like how bad like a regular season a playoff game. Yeah, playoff game was the number one viewed broadcast in the States in 2021. Out of 100 of those spots, like in the top, I think 76 of those spots was taken by football.
Oh yeah.
That's insane. Yes, hi Kitty Loves. That would be my pussy screaming. I'm sorry. This though, like the NFL's got to realize the opportunity that it has. You can lend quarterbacks to other teams. You can allow a 55-man roster or even a practice squad like what they're doing, or the practice squad, what they're doing right now. And you can have 4 to 6 players that you just can't touch every single time. And 2 of those positions on that practice squad could be for a quarterback on your team going and playing in either the USFL, the XFL, the CFL, fucking arena football if they wanted. You know what I mean? It's having that opportunity. I know that we want to keep our players here. We don't want them to get injured, this, that, and everything else. The only reason Warren Moon got another opportunity is because he owned literally where all of us, except for Robert, basically live right now. He owned Edmonton for 6 years. The only reason Doug Flutie got another chance is because he owned up here. Joe Theismann, let's not get there. But other people have been given an opportunity because of what they've done in the CFL. I mean, on that broadcast yesterday, Antonio Brown laughed and scoffed at the opportunity basically of playing in the USFL. I have too much talent. I get that. Totally understand. But all of a sudden, like, I don't think he's going to get an opportunity anywhere else, to be completely honest with you.
No, he's done in the NFL.
Yeah, he should be, at least.
I don't think anyone's going to sign him.
I mean, the
That's why he's
Chiefs.
saying all the stuff he's saying now.
I still think the Chiefs would take a chance on him.
I don't see it.
He'd ruin that locker room.
He's a cancer, yeah.
So some organizations just have certain players in positions to like say knock that attitude out of it, or just hate to say
we
it
said
this
that
way
about
too.
the Bucks.
Yeah.
Well, no, I did not. What I said about that situation with the Buccaneers was Brady is going to be the one that keeps him, not say on a leash because that's a bad take, but to keep him on,
In line.
keep him in
That's a
line.
bad take.
That's bad take.
But it didn't. But it didn't work, right? He didn't.
The first year it did. And then it just so happens that everything that's starting to come out now, and even me and Chris went back and forth in our conversation there the other day. And then after
I like being an
yesterday,
instigator with Andrew, especially.
no, it is because I was like,
Me and Scott were talking about the AB thing, and he's like, I wonder how Andrew feels about it. I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to go poke the bear right now. I was like, I'm going to message him right now. Let's see what he has to say. And next Scott, like, Andrew's just losing his mind right now.
what did Scott say? Was Scott more on the AB side or BA side?
He was kind of on the same side as me, more so just like, what's really going on, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't feel like AB's really telling all lies. I don't know that it's all truth.
Yeah.
where I'm
but
on it,
I
too.
don't think the Bucks, what they're saying is not all true either. So it's like,
Now, I will get pushback for this from some people who watch the show eventually. I think that most teams just literally skim by the rules. I think all of them do to a certain extent.
oh, especially teams that have Brady as the quarterback. Yeah, absolutely.
We all know that, Chris. We all know that.
Did I?
My
Shit, I thought
God.
I was muted.
No.
Shit,
I
I said
even
that
said-
out loud.
I
My
said it
God.
on the first show, actually the second show with North Sports Dynasty when Brady came to the Bucks. I was like, you want to know what every other team said? They said no. And you want to know why they said no? They're like, we have morals and integrity. Yeah, well, my Buccaneers don't. So come on down. Bring your referee.
Because I was going back and forth with Andrew, and I said, what did I – hold on. I'm going to go right up to what I said. He was defending – he's like, oh, Brady said this and Brady said that. I'm like, yeah, and 2 years ago you would have told me that Brady had no – or you would have told me that Brady knew the footballs were deflated, but now he has no idea.
Oh, no, he knew those balls were deflated for sure.
Yeah.
That's why-
Yeah, but now that he's on the Bucs, oh, no, he's a patron saint.
No. No. Brady, we've actually just found out like yesterday from the whole AB situation that Brady is the GM of the Buccaneers right now. Like,
was that ever a question?
Well, the thing is actually, yes. On Bucks Report, we actually had a week before, and Rick Hughes did a really good job talking about how players don't do that necessarily as much as we all think. Like, you don't walk into Brady's house and all of a sudden Alex Guerrero's sitting there with a contract being like, you ready to sign with the Buccaneers? It's like, what? This ain't Raymond James. Like, what the hell is going on here? But now we're starting to see like a little bit of glimpse through AB, which I'm also going to get some pushback for this. I would like to thank AB for at least opening his mouth, because this is one side of the NFL that we don't always get to see. We're not accustomed to seeing. Yeah. It's like when you're thrown the whole Santa Claus bit at you for a little while there, and you're just throwing some lies until eventually, oh, you're exposed to the truth. Well, it's not that bad. Don't worry about it. CTE. Shh. So, hey, Gary Bettman, you want to maybe admit? You want to admit? Oh, that's right, because the NHL would financially be unstable if you admitted that CTE exists, you asshole.
Oh, God.
Just saying. But in this case, with the Buccaneers and with AB, it's not good to have this type of shit going on before the playoffs. That's for sure. Yeah. And if everybody actually remembers, Bruce Arians came out of retirement for the opportunity with the Buccaneers. Okay. This is his third year. This is Brady's second year. Brady's 44, and Bruce Arians still has issues, not health issues necessarily, but issues. Maybe health or just, getting to that age. He's not going to put up with this crap. And I've stated that before. He's not going to put up with it. And if I was his age too, I wouldn't put up with it either. I got my ring. And you want to try and tarnish my legacy because I apparently put a player in, and I'm just talking hypothetically, of course, here. But he's, I apparently put a player in to get injured and this, that, and everything else. Like, how dare I didn't do this. And I was actually just on a show this morning where I could see this happening. Like just like this.
Get out.
Not like get out. What is he, freaking Stone Cold or whatever that dude was from WWE?
Undertaker
like
or whatever? Wasn't it the Undertaker?
Yeah, the Undertaker. Like, no. I mean, no.
I do remember when Bruce Arians was here, he had some pretty abrasive moments. So I don't know if that's entirely like unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like, he is a player's coach, but he does he can get very abrasive very quickly.
And it does seem like most of these coaches actually can, depending on the certain extent of it, I guess you would say. Sorry to cut you off. Continue.
No, that's all I was getting at, is really like to say like I'm not saying that he did exactly what you're saying. Like, he's like, I'm not sure if it was like a you're done kind of thing, but like he can get quite abrasive, and I could see how if he was saying something and whatever way he moved his arm, it might have come across that way because of his tone and the way he speaks. Because I've seen it a lot when, like I said, when he's coaching the Cardinals, and he got very abrasive with players not named Carson Palmer or Larry Fitzgerald, basically.
and that's just it, though, right? It's like some of these coaches are just that way, right? Yeah. And to be honest, I think, and this might be taking a shot at my co-host, but I think that some cultures and some teams would love nothing more than to have that, because then they'd actually have a little bit of winning success. And
yeah, you just don't bring Matt Patricia into your damn building and problem solved.
Is that the worst coach signing for you, do you think?
I would say in my lifetime, yes.
Yeah?
The only worst thing we did was bring Matt Millen in.
Ooh. I mean,
and those two were close.
Yeah. Oh, it's Ben.
No, I love Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's the guy.
I've even said it too. Like, he may not, in this 4 or 5 years that he's going to be, he may not necessarily win them a championship. He may get them to the playoffs a couple of times, but he's going to build this team and he's going to get it ready at least for the next guy that's coming in. And then Detroit may actually be a dominant team. And that's going to be the day that nobody wants to deal with.
The only thing I agree with Ben on with the whole Dan Campbell thing is they got to start winning because his personality, like a lot of these coaches, will wear out quick if they're not winning.
This is true.
I totally agree.
They got to get close to 500 next year, I think, and then pushing playoffs the year after. Or it's
I think they will be close. I think they will be next year. I don't know. I got this gut feeling. Just seeing how the Lions played this season, like I would honestly say that out of any team that I watch outside of Atlanta, I watch the Lions actually more so than anything else. And they're not as far off, I think, as people really think. And I know you might have a different take on this, Alex, but if they draft properly this year, I do think they'd be close to the 500 mark next season. And maybe they clinch that last wild card. I'm just saying.
I think 6 or 7 wins is kind of the high end next year.
I'm literally where you're at.
I mean, the Lions to me are definitely better than their record.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Like, they should have 5-6 wins this year. 4 or 5 wins
easily.
Yeah, we should be picking closer to 10 right now than we are 1. Like,
yeah, and they're I don't have all the stats on me, but if I'm not mistaken, I think they are one of the best teams against the spread this year.
Yeah, they've only lost like 2 games.
Yeah.
For the spread this year. It's been ridiculous.
They've royally fucked people over on some of these picks, man.
They lost to a 67-yard field goal or 69-yard field goal.
A record-breaking field
yeah,
goal.
Don't remind me.
That's an interesting take here, though. The Jets have less talent, but still have 4 wins and almost beat the Bucs.
Yikes! It's accurate.
I don't know that they have less talent.
That's what I was more leaning. I actually think the Jets have more talent.
Me and Ben got into this on Thursday.
Yeah,
it was this week. Yeah.
Wait, Lions were bad. Looked like Super Bowl winners both times against my Vikings. Yeah, but anybody
against the Cardinals too.
Well,
I wasn't even going to touch that. I was going to leave that alone.
That's just 2 years in a row. We just can't beat the fucking Lions. It's incredible. Like, I don't understand, man. That game just as a whole just pissed me off. I'm like, you mean we can be undefeated on the road until we have to play Detroit? Like, what just happened? Like, we lost 1 game on the road all year.
Yeah.
And watching that game, I was so happy, but I was like, damn it! Like, we're supposed to be losing these.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought you were supposed to be losing them too. Those are.
So getting to a couple more, I just want to pop out a couple more of these trades from last season here. I know Robert had a couple here.
That was my least favorite.
Your least favorite. Yep. And then you had that one.
That one put me over the top.
That I looked at that too, and I was like, "Where did you get James Conner from?" And I saw that this morning. I'm like, "Jesus, fucking Zach Moss." And then, of course, my favorite.
No, your favorite's the Debo trade.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. This is your favorite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think we should get clips of before the season where Andrew was talking about a super team.
For fuck's sake. You know what? Let me just pull up this one here.
That's the one. There it is.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh boy!
I know what I'm doing, guys. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing.
Oh no!
Listen, I thought Michael Carter was going to be the starter right off the bat, and I thought Debo was going to be 1B, and boy, was I fucking wrong, okay? All right? I think we can all agree with that here. Let me go. There we go. There's that one. This is one of my favorites because this actually helped me get into the playoff contention.
That helped you win like 4 in a row after, didn't it?
Yeah, putting Knox in there, Singletary just being like that flex. And if I would have beaten you to continue on, Singletary, I think single-handedly would have won me the championship. Yeah. Just with the way that he was going. I just though I'm gonna
Well,
tell you right now.
Moss got hurt, so he was the only guy there.
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, I was not comfortable whatsoever having like 4 Buffalo Bill players in at a time.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is fun. Every time they punt, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Thanks, guys. Yeah, this is my least favorite was the Dalvin Cook one there. I'm not gonna lie, I should have kept Eckler and Lamb.
Yeah.
yeah.
But this is my favorite. This is the best one I made.
Clearly.
Yeah. Bring me JT. I'd make that trade 1,000 times over. I'd even put in Rojo. Cause fuck Rojo.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
got a
Listen-
rumor.
Oh, well, you got a
So
rumor.
apparently, there's been talks that Calvin Ridley might get traded to Philly in the offseason.
I was just about to bring that up because
Wow.
I also have I have Twitter on my other monitor here, and Ridley's trending on Twitter, so I clicked on it.
I see that now too. Yeah, interesting.
Man.
To Philly, eh?
So what does Atlanta get in return then? First round pick?
Philly's first. Now depends on which.
I
first,
don't
though.
know. I think they could send them Indies first.
That's
Because Philly has 3 first-round picks this year.
yeah, and that's what I'm
Yeah,
Why
they
like.
got a
don't
lot
they
to
give
play
them the one
with.
that's closest to the second round and get Calvin Ridley?
That's a win for Atlanta. Oh my god, that'd be great.
Yeah, you send Indianapolis's pick. That's anywhere between 19 and 32, depending on how far they go. For Calvin Ridley, and you have Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts in there as your quarterback. Even if he doesn't,
Rager's now your third receiver.
he's a burner too.
But Ridley's so good. Like I know a lot of people gave me hate for it, but like I would have taken Ridley over Julio any day. I still would have.
Healthy young Julio, I'll take healthy young Julio, but like
I was like, there's not many people I'd take over healthy young Julio.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
shit.
I'm talking about current though. I'm talking the last maybe
God, yeah.
like 2 or 3 years, right?
Someone actually made
Yeah.
it.
So,
Go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say on Twitter, it seems like the front runners, they're the ones that they're talking about the most for Calvin Ridley are the Eagles, the Patriots, which would not be. I
I knew the Patriots. Yeah.
don't even want to put that in existence.
Ooh.
And then one person I saw like a bit of a sleeper say the Colts, but I doubt. I don't know about that.
Oh my god.
That would take from Michael Pittman a little bit more, and unless they're sold on.
I don't
Carson
know that it
Wentz-
would take away from Michael Pittman because it's going to give them somebody they have to focus on other than Michael Pittman.
Well, I mean, that's true. They're not bringing
Defensively.
Ty next year. Ty's probably not coming back next year. Not on the deal that he's on, anyway.
I was like, nor should they bring him back.
No.
A
Let him
couple
go get
people
paid
saying
somewhere else.
Bears too, but I don't know. Again, I don't know about that.
Now, there would be, because Allen Robinson ain't going back to the Bears, but Calvin Ridley and Darnell Mooney for Justin Fields to throw to would be just an absolute fucking dream for development. Just saying. And I can tell you right now, I got Darnell Mooney in the COVID league for a premium discount. And I almost had Darnell Mooney this year in COVID or in the North Sports Dynasty League for a premium discount. And then if I would have just accepted the trade before the game, because that's the game he went off for like 24 points, and then Yaryana or whatever his name was, it was like, sorry, buddy.
I had that with Jonathan Taylor this year, actually, in the league, the other league you're in there, Andrew. And there was this massive 3-team trade, and I was gonna have to give up Jonathan Taylor, but I was getting a boatload of shit back.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, I can make this work. And then that was that game against the Jets that he got like 50 points, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm gonna pull this back.
Yep. And I've even from what a couple people have said too, like just some of the trades that have actually happened. Like Kyle knows, for example, like last year at the beginning of the season for Christian McCaffrey, he had like 2 running backs, a wide receiver, and a first-round pick all offered to him at once, and he was just like, the opportunity for him is still there. I can't do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's just, and that's the reason why Dynasty, in my opinion, is more fun. Like your GMs all the time, and that's why
That's
your player
true.
rankings every week change, because all of a sudden, like, let's say right now I have Dalvin Cook at 3. Okay, then all of a sudden it comes out in the offseason that the lingering toe issue may be an issue going into the season. No, okay, well now I'm gonna have to drop him down a little bit. And then like 3 months after that, it's like he is fully healed and has been traded to the Buccaneers. no offense. Well, if it's a fully healthy Dalvin Cook and all of a sudden he goes to like the Bucks without Lenny or Rojo, Dalvin Cook is the number 1 running back in the fucking league for Dynasty then. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
And it's not bias. It's just hand it off to him 35 times with the Buccaneers offensive line and win a championship like JT is in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. Then Alex has got a couple here too.
I just threw every trade there. I don't think I can pick out my favorite and my least favorite right away.
That's that one, yeah. This is your.
Oh, this was just one that I just saw and I was like, okay, I think this needs to get thrown up there.
That would be the league favorite. Yeah, I think that Robert getting that mark because Mark Andrews is literally the only, well, not the only reason.
The guy's got me 30+ points, I think 6 times this year.
Yeah.
Not only that, if we go back to our matchup in the round there, and you see how close it was between us, that 12 points came from Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
And that 12 points that should have went to Devontae Freeman didn't. And guess who had Devontae fucking Freeman?
Yeah, I hate playing you. For whatever reason, me and you, it's always either I'm making the playoffs or it's something stupid or you know what? I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Because whenever me and you meet, it's always a disgusting game or something catastrophic happens with either me or you, and I'm done with it.
And this was our first season. Me and Chris I still remember that. Me and Chris had a banger of that first round. It went back and forth all day.
Oh.
And then, of course,
I can't even remember what ended up being there was something stupid that ended up being like the deciding factor.
It was
like somebody that we were like, okay, like how did that happen?
Yeah, someone got like stupid amount of points. We're like, okay. And then look it. You see my championship there? Like I had the fucking team until Alex knows. Alex knows damn well what happened here.
Yeah.
Fucking Alvin Kamara's 6 touchdown performance.
This year's Alvin Kamara was Jamar Chase.
Oh my god, yeah. So that's what it is this year because a lot of people have been saying that. They're like, so what was the championship player this year? It was like it's Jamar Chase or Joe Burrow, depending who you have. Because Joe Burrow,
both, just oh my god.
Yeah, Joe Burrow was 54-3, I think, in his last game. And then what was Jamar was 46?
Something like that, yeah. It was crazy.
So you're getting almost 100 points just off your quarterback wide receiver tangent right there. Like you're laughing. And I'm the one with the worst take that said, listen, out of all the people who got drafted to be with each other, I think they're going to need a little bit more time considering they got T. Higgins and Boyd. And yeah, I'm fucking wrong.
So what's your guys' take on that whole preseason where he couldn't catch NFL balls? Do you think that was just just saying, hey, like
it happened. Like he could for a little bit.
He couldn't tell how fast it was spinning because without the line or some shit. Yeah.
Now all of a sudden he's like the guy.
I figured it would take time.
Hey, Alec, add me on Facebook and send us a message. We might actually have an opportunity for you to be part of this league if you would like to be part of it.
Is somebody backing out? Actually, is a good question. Like,
we won't talk about it live. We won't talk about who it is live, of course, because we don't insult them like that.
No, of course not. No,
they were very respectful when they like messaged me. They were like, they're like, Dynasty just isn't my forte. I prefer redraft every year, but I loved this. It's been really fun. Thank you for the opportunity. I want to let you know if I can do it now so that I can give you guys an opportunity to get somebody else in the league. And I'm like,
I would like it.
What's that?
That's respectable. There's nothing wrong with that.
So I even said, like, if you wouldn't mind, just don't make any trades or any drops or anything like that for, at least the next, couple weeks or month. And he's like, oh, for sure. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. So, Alex, just send us a message. We might have an opportunity for you. We do have the next league coming in probably in March, just before the draft is when we'll start the new big league there. I think we got 7 as of right now confirmed people in the league. We're trying to go for 12 in total. I know a couple people are still a little extra or a little on the fence about it, but I told them none of the rules of this league have been set yet because we're all going to vote on it. So we're going to vote on half PPR, full PPR,
nice.
1 flex position, 2 flex position,
kicker.
No kicker.
No kicker.
No kicker, man. No kicker. What a waste of time that is.
I know, right?
I wonder who the deciding vote was on that. I can't remember.
Hey, someone had Carlson. He put up 21 points against me. So
Fucking Nick Folk, I think, had like 38 points one of these weeks too. I was like, what is happening? What is happening?
Yeah.
And that's why what's his name? Big Wiz was like, well, what if I want to put a kicker in the flex position? Like the super flex position. I'm like, you could. They're like, so I could still have Tucker if I wanted. I'm like,
Yeah.
like you could. Yeah, you could. They're like, yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
the guy
Kyle asked
that's the
that
guy
too.
that has 12 defenses on his roster, right?
yeah,
Hey,
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, all right.
But
Yeah.
you know what? I've literally gone through. I know that he's not necessarily won too much like in our league, but I've gone through some of the picks and some of the trades that he's gotten for some of those defenses. And I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
okay. Like he's gotten a second round pick for one of those
I
defenses.
I flat out, I told he tried. I offered him a fourth. I was like, I need a defense. Like here's a fourth. I don't care. Just give me one of these three. And he's like, no, I want a second. I was like, I would rather start nobody. I would rather start a defense that gives me negative points every single week than
I'd
give
rather put in
you
my
a
second
fucking
round pick.
two. Yeah, then give you a second round pick for a fucking defense. Are you
Well,
mental?
That's why last year.
I already
before
didn't
the
like
season
giving him
there-
a fourth.
Yeah.
That's why
Go ahead,
last
Alex.
year when we had the waivers and everything before the season, I just went and picked every defense that was available. I only got the Cowboys and Jets. Cowboys worked out for me, but
I'm happy with mine. I'm keeping mine. Patriots and Cardinals. I'll take it. I'm keeping.
It's like freaking our good buddy Jose there, who's in the league, who just made the trade with you there, Kyle, today. It's the first trade of the year. Every time I've made him an offer for the Buccaneers defense, I always am including like a player off of his roster too, so I can make it at least seem like I'm not trading like a third round pick or a second round pick or whatever for the Buccaneers defense.
Yeah.
And the one time I don't know if he was just drunk or he's just having a good time with it, but it was while I still had Dalvin Cook, and he sent me a re-offer one time, and it was just like, yeah, I'll send you, you send me Dalvin Cook, and I think it was Laviska Shenault, and I'll do this and the Buccaneers defense. I'm like, no. We got the dude popping in here to say hi today, Mr. Bossman of Bucks Report. How we doing there today, boss?
I think he's muted.
Oh, no,
he
he's
is
muted.
muted.
He's muted. Did he mute? Oh, we'll keep him there. We'll keep him there. See if he talks. He might just pop out again. But it's good to see the boss joining in on the show today. Hour and a half, ladies. Whoa. Is that you, Alex?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, whoa. Hour and a half almost in, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to give everybody on here a follow on their social media platforms. You can find Kyle, obviously, and Chris and Robert on all the Facebooks. I know Chris has Twitter, and I believe it is at Duck Sauce.
Dub sauce.
Dub Sauce.
Nice.
There we go. Sauce. So he is at Dub Sauce. And you can also find him on Twitch. You want to drop your Twitch info for us there, my friend?
It's the same. It's the same as my Twitter info. Just add dubsauce55. Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's all there.
And I think we got the dude back. How we doing there, boss? Oh, maybe not. Nope, that's okay. Anyways, so last couple things here before we are basically done for the day. It's just basically a little roundtable about our teams quickly for the last game of the season and what you kind of expect to go and happen for your team.
A shit kicking in about an hour.
What do you think is going to happen there, Robert?
A big fucking shit kicking.
Who are you playing?
The
The
Chiefs.
Chiefs in about an hour.
Ooh,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not fun. Alex, what do you got for your Lions?
I'm expecting the Packers to only play their starters for like a quarter to the end of the first half ish there. And then we get to see Jordan Love. So I'm actually expecting to get our asses kicked the first half and then come away and steal the game at the end.
I'm not gonna lie, I have a very it would be worth something if Jordan Love actually started for the Green Bay Packers. I have a Jordan Love rookie card and it's actually like a pretty good one. So
Because
I'm
I'm pretty
holding
sure the
out.
Chiefs are playing for a seed too, like a high seed.
There's 5 teams in the AFC that could walk away with the 1 seed based on how
Yeah,
this
so
weekend
that's not
goes.
like they're just gonna go off on the Broncos. I'm telling you.
Boom. Yes. Thank you, Chris. I was just going to say, drop it down in the comments section. Kyle, your
Yeah.
Falcons. Are you still in the playoff hunt or what's going on?
No, we got eliminated mathematically last game. So what I want to happen is I want them to, as bad as this is because it's against the Aints, I want them to tank it just for a better draft pick spot. But
and if you guys win, you knock the Saints out.
Well, and that's where I think this is gonna happen. Is I do think what's gonna happen is Atlanta's gonna play their heart out, and I think they're gonna come away with the win, and they're gonna beat the Saints and eliminate their playoff potential with the Saints. So I think that's what's gonna happen.
Nice. Yeah, I want you to beat the Saints. This is what I want you to beat the fucking Saints. Chris, what about your Cardinals? What are you hoping for, brother?
I mean, they're gonna beat Seattle. They better beat Seattle. And I'm hoping it works out that we can win the division. I mean, if San Francisco can, beat LA, then that puts us up at the top of the division again. And just a bit of a better spot. I mean, I don't mind going into Dallas again, but I'd rather not. But I don't mind doing it if we have to.
Especially the way that Kyler plays when he's home, right? So
yeah.
Everything that he said there on that one podcast where he's like, I don't lose when I go home. It was like,
no, he's 8-0 in that stadium.
Yeah. So if anything, I kind of want your Cardinals to play the Cowboys.
Yeah, please.
How about this? How about this? If the Jaguars beat the Colts, do you think the Chargers and Raiders play for a tie?
No,
you don't think it's gonna happen?
I don't think teams would ever do that, and I don't think divisional teams would ever want their other divisional rival to make the playoffs with them, because then for the odd chance that like they all got to meet each other, it would just be dumb, right?
Yeah, the
Chargers.
At the same time, you almost like gambling. You play for the win and you lose, and you're out. Whereas if you're both playing for the tie, then like
you're both
play another day.
So that's the other side of it, though. Do you like walk up to the other sideline and like go up to the Raiders coach?
Trade the coin toss, 100%. Be like, what? So we're just taking a knee? All right.
The fans would there. All the fans that paid to see that game too would be like, oh, we're just watching people take a knee. If I wanted to see that, I'd go home and watch the Colin Kaepernick highlights. Like, come on now.
Oh,
can you imagine the entirety of that game just being each team takes 3 knees and then punts the ball?
And a fair catch, not even a return, and a fair catch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All righty. So we can basically get to the end here, ladies and gentlemen. I'll get all the guys out here first. So let's start off with Kyle. Let everybody know where they can find you, brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just message me on Facebook, Kyle Yacey at Facebook. I haven't started any other platforms yet, but for now, that's probably the best place to reach me.
Hells yeah. You can also find him on NSD all the time. Thank you for being here, brother. Chris, again, let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, Facebook, Twitter. I dropped the Twitter and the Twitch link down in the comments there. Yeah.
Thanks for being on here, brother. Have yourself a good night.
Thank you. Yeah, you too, guys.
Robert, tell everybody where they can find you.
Facebook. I'm always on the Sleeper Dynasty app as well. If you want to reach me there, that's it. I'm always active.
Right on. Our Broncos analyst, our Cardinals analyst, and our Atlanta Falcons analyst. Thank you guys for being on here today.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, buddy. All right, let's get them all out. Oh, there we go. And then we had the dude is still here. Hey, boss.
Is he here?
Oh, yeah, he's here.
I'm the super gremlin, toilet licking loving, COVID protocol breaking superhero that you're all waiting for. Andrew, Alex. If we could get one more A on here, it'd be AAA, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't realize that when I was signed into the main StreamYard account, I just popped on screen. So my bad.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Surprise. I just wanted to say great job as usual, Mr. Faubert.
Appreciate it.
And Alex, we're going to start a GoFundMe account so we can all pitch in and buy you a hat that isn't Michigan.
Oh.
Well, I mean, nothing against Michigan. I too like khaki pants, but yeah, every week, same hat. I think we need to fix that, Andrew. What do you think?
I mean, a Gators hat would look really good on them, that's for sure.
No.
Listen, it's either the Gators or the...
No. It's about enough of that.
Oh shit. Yes. Thank you, boss. We're definitely gonna have to get him a new hat. Get him a
See,
nice new
Alex
hat.
has been told to censor any Seminole hate on this platform.
Oh no! I was going after.
He was
his,
about to say the Spartans. I
yeah, I
know
was going
exactly
after
what
the
he was
Spartans.
going for.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question for you. With the regal and prestigious name of Spartan, right? We all think of the 300, King Leonidas, the battle against Xerxes, all that good stuff, right?
Yeah.
How the hell you guys pick out green and white? Green and white? Come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like some of these other teams. Like, I mean, we just had our Cardinals fan on there too. But I did this to my fiance the other day. I was like, "Do you know where Cardinals live?" And she goes, "No." And then she kind of searched it up, and I was like, "Okay, so why are they called the Arizona Cardinals?" She goes, They don't live down there, do they? And I'll go, "No." She's like, "What the hell?"
Well, what's
like,
even funnier is that team initially started as the Chicago Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they went to St. Louis.
Yep.
You know, two cities known for their avian culture.
Yeah.
And then ended up in Arizona. And I mean, I'll put it to you this way. This is a perfect time. The dude is going to be humbled at this point and say, Andrew, during the last off season, when you were on the Kyler Murray could be MVP thing, I went, ha, he can't even ride all the rides at Disney World.
That's right. I remember that.
So I will say I was wrong. He has proven to be a bona fide NFL quarterback. And with that said, we got to get some kind of advertisement campaign or endorsement deal done with him and Doug Flutie. We have to.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Like who's Mini-Me? Something like that. I know I can't help myself.
You and Chris will have a good time going forward because, like I said, he's a big Cardinals fan. He loves Kyler. That's why I threw that little thing in there too. Because again, we're making segments for the offseason. We're the big one that I've come up with is like if we wait a year too long and had the Buccaneers not chosen to go Jameis one more year, we could have had Josh Allen, or the Cardinals could have gone and grabbed Josh Allen. So we talk about hypotheticals like that. And I threw that at Chris. I'm like, how would you be okay with Josh Allen there? He's like, no, Kyler, bro. I love Kyler. Kyler's my man. And so,
well, we're about to wrap up the NFL regular season here. For all you loser teams, that means it's over. But for us playoff teams, so Alex, you're not part of this.
No,
I'll just see myself.
No, Alex is now looking at the draft, which Bucs fans are very familiar with this time of year.
Yeah.
I want to say that so far this season, let's be honest, it's been a crazy ride.
Yeah.
All the gentlemen and the lady here at Bucs Report have done a great job bringing you entertainment that you, trust me, you won't find it anywhere else. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I did want to just jump on here really just to tell both of you how much ass you're kicking. How it's great to see people like Alex bring the Johnny Deans out of the world, out of the woodwork, and bring them on screen and give them a voice.
Oh, yeah.
It's great to see Faubert. And dude, any of you guys watching, and again, he gets bumped. I don't think you get bumped this week. I think you get bumped back. If you're not watching Cheap Seats on Sunday night to wrap up your NFL day, what are you doing? Seriously. You can have a show where we all just stare at the camera and say, and the Cardinals beat the Colts 32-3 and the Buccaneers. Or you can have Andrew Faubert, who will probably put on some form of dance, some form of entertainment that's different than what you get from the cookie cutter tie wearing chodes of the NFL media. That said,
welcome.
Right, exactly. And he's been growing that beard since I don't know, Ichabod Crane. Ooh, there's a good one.
Since we were free to roam the planet.
Right. Back when you could go everywhere without showing a card.
Yeah.
But I guess the moral of the story is we got through that year. This is the beginning of a new year, guys. I look for continued success and fun with these two smiling faces from Bucs Report. Trust me, I go out of my way on a nightly basis whenever Alex is on to do that, to get that reaction from him right there. And even with Professor Pissy Pants Johnny Dean always trying to be so serious, I still get Alex to smile at least once or twice a show. And that's really what this is all about, is Bucs fans like you guys, football fans like you guys, bringing football content to the masses in a way that's a little different, maybe unorthodox, but still better than anything you can get on a 3 or 4 letter network. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Wait, NS, never mind. Yeah.
Ross. Well, before you go, let us just say to you, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Well, thank you. My birthday, you always have to say my birthday with BC at the end of it. That's how old I am. Okay.
Aww.
So, but I appreciate that. Today has been, you know what I did for my birthday? I got up, I drank coffee, I smoked, and I went back to bed.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So the dude woke up an hour ago, and I've got 2 NFL games in front of me today.
Yes, sir.
Dude, Saturday night is better with NFL. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Absolutely.
Hells yeah.
But again, we thank all of you guys in the comment section, girls too, because we're not weird. And I have to say, Andrew, as always, man, you knock it out of the park. Your opening monologues have become a thing on Cheap Seats. So everybody tune in. I'm sure you're going to bump one Sunday night, but it's probably going to be a little delayed because of the Bucs 4:00 game, or I'm not sure what that is. If you don't do one, we'll all just sit here and cry. Okay.
All good.
Pressure's all on you now.
Yeah, right.
Alex, send my love and best wishes to the Loosemores. Andrew, kiss the wife, hug the kids, give them a high five. Don't forget, tonight, 9:00, we have Buck Wild with the Miscreants, which I'll just say this. I'm going to be misbehaving big time by then.
Oh.
Yay!
So now I am going off to court a TikTok star and possibly, I don't know, drop a new mixtape. And you can't tell, but I'm in the process of taking off my shirt, and I'm going to go dance right now. So,
right on.
But hey, and on a serious note, congratulations, Cyril Grayson, for getting signed to the 53-man roster.
Yeah.
Well deserved. Buccaneer organization. You dropped the ball on a lot of stuff this week. The players, though, y'all handled yourself the right way. And I don't expect people in suits to ever do the right thing, but when the players handle it the right way and do the right thing, much respect to that. Right. For the reason of all the controversy this week, I don't really want to bring it up except a huge middle finger. And that's about it. Happy holidays. Those are over, right? Holidays are over. Okay, holidays are over. Before you go, or before I go, because you guys are there, today is the dude's birthday. It's also Elvis Presley's birthday.
Oh.
So what I will say is, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.